Have you ever taken a wrong turn and ended up somewhere unexpected? Somewhere not on any map, where the air feels heavy and the smiles don't quite reach the eyes. Today, we are delving into a story that will make you think twice about exploring off the beaten path. This is the chilling tale of Daniel Mercer and the village that wasn't there. Daniel was a travel photographer, a man whose life was a collection of stunning landscapes and fleeting moments captured through a lens. He lived for the thrill of discovery, for the story hidden in the golden hour light. One crisp autumn afternoon, chasing the perfect sunset shot, he drove his beat-up Jeep down a series of winding country lanes. GPS was useless out here. The roads became narrower, more tangled, until he was well and truly lost. As dusk began to bleed across the sky, a hand-painted wooden sign appeared through the trees. "Welcome to Halewood." The name meant nothing to him. He'd studied every map of the region, and Halewood simply didn't exist. Curiosity, the photographer's greatest virtue and sometimes his greatest vice, took over. He parked the Jeep and walked into the village. Halewood was like stepping into a forgotten century. Cobblestone streets, timber-framed houses with thatched roofs, and an unnerving quiet. The people he saw were odd. They moved with a placid grace, their faces polite but vacant, and every single one of them, from the burly blacksmith to the young woman tending a garden, wore a bright red ribbon tied around their right wrist. Their speech was even stranger, a thick, antiquated dialect he could barely understand. They offered him a room at the local inn, their hospitality feeling more like an obligation than a genuine welcome. They told him he was lucky. He'd arrived just in time for their annual harvest festival. That evening, the village square was alive with lanterns and folk music. Long tables groaned under the weight of food, loaves of bread, roasted vegetables, and pies of every description. The villagers celebrated with a subdued, almost rehearsed joy. Daniel, ever the observer, took it all in, his camera clicking away. He was trying to capture the essence of this strange, anachronistic place, but as he mingled, a disturbing realization began to creep over him. He scanned the crowd, the houses, the streets. There were no children. Not a single laugh, not a single cry, not a single small figure running through the square. The village was completely, unnervingly, childless. He approached an old woman who was refilling a pitcher of cider. "It's a lovely festival," he began, trying to sound casual. "But I was just wondering, where are all the children?" The woman's smile vanished. Her eyes, cloudy with age, darted around as if she were afraid of being overheard. She leaned in close, her breath smelling of earth and something metallic. "The fields provide," she whispered, her voice a dry rustle. Before Daniel could ask what she meant, she straightened up, her polite mask back in place, and walked away. "The fields provide." The phrase echoed in his mind, nonsensical and deeply sinister. A cold knot of dread began to form in his stomach. This wasn't just a quirky, isolated village. Something was fundamentally wrong here. The main feast ended, but the night was far from over. A rhythmic drumming started, pulling the villagers toward the center of the square. Daniel, intrigued and now genuinely scared, followed at a distance using the shadows of the old buildings as cover. The villagers had changed into dark, ceremonial robes, their faces obscured by deep hoods. They were dancing in a slow, hypnotic circle around a towering wooden effigy. It was crudely constructed, a grotesque parody of a human form. The music grew louder, more frantic. A haunting melody played on pipes and drums that seemed to vibrate in his very bones. Daniel raised his camera, zooming in on the effigy, trying to make out the details in the flickering torchlight. His blood ran cold. It wasn't made of wood. It was made of bones. Human bones, yellowed with age, were lashed together with thick rope, and at the very top, where the head should be, was a human skull. As he focused his lens, a horrifying detail snapped into view. A dark, viscous liquid was dripping from the skull's empty eye socket. It was fresh blood. His heart hammered against his ribs. This wasn't a festival. It was a ritual. A twig snapped under his foot. The sound was deafening in the sudden silence. The music stopped. The dancing ceased. One by one, 100 heads turned in his direction. 100 pairs of eyes, hidden in the shadows of their hoods, fixed on him. The silence stretched, thick and suffocating. Then a single voice began to chant, a low, guttural sound. Others joined in, their voices rising in perfect, terrifying unison. The outsider has come. The fields must feed. The chant grew louder, more powerful, a wave of sound that promised violence. The outsider has come. The fields must feed. Panic seized him. Daniel turned and ran. He didn't know where he was going. He just needed to get away from that square, away from those eyes, away from that chant. He sprinted down the cobblestone street, his lungs burning. He had to get to his jeep. He burst out of the village and into the open fields that surrounded it. The wheat was tall, rustling around him like 1,000 whispering voices. He ran down a dirt path, expecting it to lead to the main road, but it twisted and turned, disorienting him in the darkness. After what felt like an eternity, he saw a light ahead, the village square. He had run in a circle. He was back where he started. He tried again, choosing a different path, running with all the strength he had left. The moon overhead offered little light, and the rustling wheat seemed to claw at him, slowing him down. The paths were a labyrinth, a maze designed to confuse and trap. Each one he took, no matter how straight it seemed, eventually looped back, depositing him right back at the edge of Halewood. The villagers were no longer chanting. They were waiting. Standing at the edge of the square, perfectly still, watching him. Their patience was more terrifying than any pursuit. They knew he couldn't escape. The fields wouldn't let him. The final shot of our story isn't of Daniel. It's of the sunrise, casting a glorious golden light over the endless fields of wheat. The morning is peaceful. The villagers are back in their normal clothes, tending to their daily chores, their faces carrying the same placid, polite smiles. The red ribbons on their wrists flutter gently in the morning breeze, and out in the middle of the field, a new figure stands guard over the crops. It's a scarecrow, tall and silent, its arms outstretched. Its clothes are tattered and familiar, and tied around one of its wrists is the strap of a high-end digital camera, its lens pointing sightlessly at the sky. In Halewood, the fields always provide. This story serves as a terrifying reminder that some places are hidden for a reason, and some secrets are buried for the safety of us all. What do you think happened to the children of Halewood? Let me know your theories in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoy diving into the dark and mysterious, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Stay safe out there.